Obama huddled with Pentagon officials this afternoon to discuss ISIS strategy and emphasize the fight against the terror forces is, quote, a long-term campaign. Let's get more with the former chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, our CNN national security commentator Mike Rogers, former Congresswoman Jane Harman, a leading intelligence expert and head of the Woodrow Wilson International Center for Scholars, and former CIA operative and CNN intelligence and security analyst Bob Baer. So great to have the three of you with us today. A lot to talk about. And Jane, I'm going to start with you because we know that there has been this airstrike campaign in Raqqa. This isn't the first one, though. What is the significance of this particular airstrike?
Well, we're upping our ante, and we're responding, I assume, to the vicious ISIL attacks in 3 countries that preceded this. But what I worry about is this military strategy won't get us there. Where is there? There is really a political solution, not a military solution. But airstrikes without adequate intelligence on the ground can't succeed. And in addition to that, our strategy in Syria is confused. The president today said something important. He said he wants a transition to a pluralist government with Bashar Assad out. That's important. Bashar Assad out. But the folks we want to train and are asking to help us want him out now and have thought that our strategy, so far it has been true, has not been focused on him.
And you talk about the fact that we don't have an adequate intelligence. What would the solution to that be? What more can we do in Syria in terms of the intelligence gathering?
Well, first of all, you have to put some folks downrange. We don't currently allow U.S. Special Forces or other capable soldiers downrange with units that could, I think, facilitate better intelligence. And remember, 75%, according to CENTCOM, of all of those planes flying over to drop bombs or ordnance don't drop that ordnance. They can't find targets. They're not getting targets, or they don't have permission to drop. And so what you're seeing, this long campaign, is because there's a bit of confusion here between the folks trying to get the job done and I think policymakers. I think hopefully today this was a first step at it. I didn't see a lot in that press conference that gave me confidence they're going to change that policy. But they've got to change that policy. We've got to get more folks downrange. We have to offer them better logistics package, command and control packages, intelligence packages, and we have to be clear on the command and control structure here so they can get those targets.
And I want to bring in Bob Baer to talk a little bit more about what's going on in Raqqa with these airstrikes. We have heard these reports, Bob, that ISIS's leader Abu al-Baghdadi was in Raqqa. Do you think that these airstrikes were ordered in part to take out Baghdadi?
Well, I think we'd like to take out Baghdadi, no question about it. If we could find him, he's clearly not going up on a cell phone. He's not getting on email. And I think what we have to look at these airstrikes are in response to the expansion of the Islamic State. Today they took Ain Issa, an important strategic town in the north on the Turkish border, major attacks in Haditha against the Iraqi government, and the Islamic State is moving on Aleppo. We are stuck in this policy, which is failing, is airstrikes. And I think we've all said that. The military said it from the beginning. It's not enough. And to go back to the intelligence question, our intelligence is terrible because we can't get out and actually talk to people. And if these people are going off the air, it's a black hole, and we don't know what to hit out there.
It's hard to believe that just a year ago, ISIS was barely even ISIS. I mean, we heard President Obama calling the group the JV team, and now look how much ground they have gained. Jane, in your view, what more specifically needs to be done?
Well, again, I don't think this is a military fight. I think that's a piece of the fight, but I think it's a political, diplomatic, and messaging fight. And I think we're losing the messaging because we're not out there on social media in the way that ISIL is. How embarrassing. I mean, the country that invented the internet and all of these cutting-edge firms can't find a way to get ahead of the messages by a small number of people that are causing many people in all countries, including ours, to leave educated households and become part of the foreign fighter corps.
No doubt about it. Creating a counter-narrative has been something that the U.S. has lacked in the fight against ISIS. They've talked about the social media machine, but what is the solution there? I mean, the U.S. government fighting back against ISIS online isn't exactly going to deter those who would want to join the group, right? I mean, what's the solution?
You have to have a multifaceted approach here. The first thing is not, I mean, yes, a political solution has to happen, but we have a military problem right now that needs solving. You will not get to any disruptive activity until we do something about their capital in Raqqa, the fact that they have land and space and time and money to recruit, to put these very sophisticated propaganda messages that are recruiting our kids, American kids, British kids, European kids. So you have to have a more robust effort. I'm glad to see that the president went out, but that in and of itself won't do it, out to the Pentagon today. We need to step up our game here. We need to coordinate better with our allies that are looking for help. We need to engage, again, in a more robust way. Congress needs to act. They should give authorization for force. I think it's sad that they haven't done that yet. And I think that the president needs to engage and allow these folks to go downrange to leverage up our allies' capabilities so you have a disruptive act. Remember, the longer this goes, the more likely it is that they're going to be successful at getting someone to radicalize here in the United States.
And how do you disrupt the social media campaign that ISIS has, even no matter how many airstrikes you do there?
Well,
I think that is, you know, as officials in the U.S. have acknowledged.
This is the problem.
But the State Department can't do this with 50 people. The whole country has to make that. The president should call the country to action to get ahead of this. We've got the cutting-edge technology firms that could join in this fight and really help make this, not just the country, but the region a lot safer. But I don't think, I agree that we have to partner with these folks on the ground in Syria, but I don't think the American people are prepared to put boots on the ground and take the casualties that will result. And I think that we need a debate about this in the Congress, and we need to authorize
This isn't about the 101st Airborne Division. This is about special capability soldiers that leverage up our allies.
I know, but
otherwise you're going to take...
And they could get killed.
You can't beat them without putting someone in harm's way.
This is a debate that I'm pretty sure we're not going to settle in this sitting, but it's certainly going to be an ongoing conversation. Mike Rogers, Jane Harman, Bob Baer, thank you all for coming on. We do appreciate it.